Music builds communities. It's that shared experience of rhythm and lyrics. And in that same way, Ashley Butler, franchisor of Ice Cold Air Discount Auto Repair in Tampa, Florida, credits her rise to stardom with the help of the communities in which she grew up. But to keep a community thriving, it has to grow. And every auto repair shop today knows how hard it is to find technicians. That's why Ashley has chosen to focus on education. Knowledge will grow the industry. One sentence, describe the industry.
Evolving. Our industry is evolving, and it is also in discovery.
Tell me about those. Tell me about what the current evolution you're seeing, and then we'll go into the discovery.
I think that we're all evolving because we have to develop a workforce. And we are in discovery because we have to figure out how do we present what we do as a desirable career for people. And that you don't have to want to be greasy and dirty to be a technician. We need programmers, we need people who understand computer systems, and that you can be a technology enthusiast and come and create a very viable career in the automotive repair and service industry. Right. So I think that's where we're evolving. Cars are getting smaller, smarter, and actually, the components and everything are becoming more compact. And it's less about being like what they used to say, like a grease guy, and it's more so about understanding how systems and functions connect and how they respond to each other and ratios, and it's becoming more of a science, more so than someone who's just willing to have greasy, dirty hands at the end of the day. When
you're working with techs, and you're a tech yourself, how much of that is like working with the computer, working with the diagnostics and troubleshooting and root cause analysis versus to your point, you think of turning the wrench or that kind of technician? What's the world look like now?
I want you to be comfortable with using technology to get you to the answer, and then going straight to the issue. You're like, okay, well, you know what? My diagnostic says it's either going to be in component A, computer sending information here, or it's backfeeding here, or we have a blockage here, and I can see it right here because I got a 0 and I know I need 0.5. So now I know when I pop the hood, I'm walking straight to component X, Y, or Z, and I'm touching it, and I'm seeing what happened. I'm unplugging, I'm seeing if take my time and walk into it in a smart way versus just popping the hood, disconnecting things, plugging things back up. Because if there's a electrical disconnection, as soon as you touch that wire, as soon as you disconnect and reconnect, you might have to start all the way back over until the drive cycles bring the problem back because it was a connection issue. Right. And so you really don't actually diagnose the issue unless you know where you're going.
What would you recommend the industry has to do to change that perception in people's minds that yes, it's technology driven, yes, you know what I mean, it's an approachable career path that can provide for your future and any of your goals or aspirations? What would you encourage the industry to do?
I would say let's put a lot of effort into reaching students earlier and presenting this as a respectable career as early as middle school.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. We need to get funding to add automotive mechanics back into high schools. When I went to high school, we had an automotive shop. Yep. Teachers would bring their cars over there and they would repair the cars there. We need that as an industry, so that means we need sponsorship. We need the big guys to maybe put a little bit of equipment inside the shops that are necessary. Presenting the career in a light that it's not a backup plan, that it's necessary. The trades are necessary: electricians, plumbers, roofers. Yeah. Sometimes people look at those people as though they are less than our doctors, our lawyers, that type of career chain. But I tell you what, a doctor and a lawyer needs an electrician and a roofer just as well, and vice versa. Yeah. So everyone has value. All of us are going to do something different to make a good life for our families. Right. When you really do the math, because I sign the checks, and I have friends that are attorneys and I have friends that are physicians, and I can tell you that when they hear how well technicians are paid and service advisors and service managers are paid, they think, man, I could have saved myself $100,000 worth of college and put my hands into a craft. And you know, we've got guys making 120, you know, and started at $15 an hour.
Right.
And within 60 months, within 5 years, actually within about 48 months, they're already six-figure earners.
Wow.
And so that's why the soft skills come in.
Yeah.
That's exactly where. So as an industry, I think we should get back into the education system, have automotive mechanics and technician training in the coursework across the United States.
Right.
We really have to do it. And then some good marketing,
Right.
showing the light of people who are creating amazing lives, amazing results, and getting more of an eye on it.
Higher education is great, college is great, but yeah, you come out of there with a massive amount of debt and you're still at the bottom of the pile of getting your career started, right?
Yeah, I think we did a really good job in our nation in the 80s and the 90s, and we made the bachelor's degree and the master's level degree and the PhD, we made those look like golden tickets.
Right.
And I want to be careful how I preface this because I sit on a foundation board for a university. I also sit on an advisory board for Florida College Access. So I do believe in higher education. Absolutely. I think we need that. My opportunities came to me, as I told you before, through being at university, responding to an ad. If I wasn't there, I wouldn't have been here. So timing and all the things that happen in one's life are important. But I don't think we need to make it that there's only one way to get to success.
Sure.
As an industry, we should show the way people get to live in our industry, because we have people living very well in the automotive repair industry. I think that's the picture and that's the story we need to tell.
How do you go about parsing through what'll help your shop and what your shop needs, and just kind of navigating a landscape that's just changing technologically so quickly?
We definitely have to make sure that our legislation are keeping, proprietary information is proprietary information. And so I respect that, but there's some information that should be an open book. And a person who buys a car, as long as it won't be dangerous, should be able to go online, figure out what the situation is, and if they have the courage, fix their car in their front yard if they like.
Right.
And that also opens up the door that a mechanic can then do the same thing and provide a service for their community, a resource. My mind just thinks that we just need to play nice in the sandbox across big box, across independents, dealerships, all the different manufacturers, to make sure that we're providing the right amount of information to where families are supported, because our consumer is our boss. And so if we're hiding information from our boss for whatever financial reason we might be, is that better for everybody overall? And if it's not, what are we planning to do to correct it? Now, do we want a person at home disconnecting a hybrid battery? No, we definitely want those orange tabs and the no with the hands, and we don't want people getting hurt. But I think that you should be able to change your cabin air filter in your driveway if you want.
Right.
And so I would want us to continue the road that we're going on and allowing that information to make it to the independent world, not selfishly, but just so that people can learn and that we can teach. We can grow our own talent.
However, Ashley believes that it's not just the information in cars that we need. We also need to harness the knowledge that is inside of our technicians.
I think we need structure for leadership and guidance and team building, because as people are leaving industries, there's a bunch of knowledge that is going to leave with them. And so if we can create a mentorship component to where a lead technician, maybe they're just not going to do that type of work anymore. And so they're going to teach this other person, listen, my back is this way, and let me show you how to do it. Let me show you what I did wrong for so many years that put my body in this position, and let me show you how to do this. And promoting and encouraging mentorship through like shared compensation plans, maybe an override type of compensation plan for lead technicians and diagnostic technicians, to where they're rewarded to pass their skills down. They don't feel like I'm teaching somebody to replace me. They're basically saying, I'm teaching someone how to help me produce more with less of my body. Those are things that we had to become creative with, especially knowing that we have a shortage. We have a technician shortage. So I have to create a world where people kind of gamify sharing, gamify sharing of knowledge and the passing down of knowledge, and that has worked.
Ashley's big on education. She sits on college boards, trying to bring students into the trades, and she mentors her staff with life lessons. So it's no surprise that her biggest piece of advice for shop owners like herself navigating the industry's constant change is go educate yourself.
Don't rest on your laurels. Don't think that what you knew in the 80s and the 90s is gonna suffice. Take yourself back to school. Ask questions, be curious. If there's a system that comes into your shop that you're not prepared to service, then take the responsibility to research the tools. Go take yourself, fly out of state, wherever you need to go, get some training, or send somebody from your team who is curious and has the nature to continue to learn to do it. And be patient. This is one of our hardest things. We want to put a guy who, has a little tool cart and think that they're gonna just know how to be in a shop. No, we gotta teach them how to be in the shop. We gotta teach them how to be safe in the shop. We have to be patient with them. That takes money, because now I have to pay you, because we're also in a space where the living wage is just not good enough. And so now I have to take somebody who can't turn hours, who can't really produce ROI, and I have to pour money into them every single week before they can ever return it back. That means we have to be responsible for building up a coffer. That means we need to be responsible around what we're investing in. It's gonna take something you just gotta wanna. It's gonna take you gotta wanna, it's gonna take grit, it's gonna take sacrifice, and it may mean you don't get to trade that boat in every single summer, because you're gonna need some money for payroll, for training, specifically earmarked money for training and developing people. And it can be hard, because the other thing is, in our industry, it's pretty difficult sometimes to get 10% to the bottom line. Consumers want to buy it as cheap as they can, or as low to cost as they can, so then the margins aren't there. Labor rate is what the labor rate is for the nation, and so if we bring our labor rate to what it really costs to produce this, then we're gonna run the consumer off. And so there's this dance, and there's a really big conversation that we need to have. And I don't know if we're gonna start having these conversations annually at Apex. I don't know if it's gonna happen in 20 groups all across, but the people who wanna lead, we all need to get together, and we need to make some decisions, and then we need to ask for help for our guys with the big pockets to help us spread it throughout. This is our responsibility. If we wanna be number one, we gotta do the things number one people do. I mean, we go to the gym early, we stay at the gym late. Gotta put in the work.
How do you start to build that community and relationship within your business?
Once I became a technician, and I tracked my hours, and I'm watching the things that frustrate me, what stops me when I get in my own head, and if I'm not using bay management, I can recognize when I have a technician that's suffering through one of those internal things, and I can walk over to them, maybe grab a bottle of water or a popsicle or something, and say, hey, why don't you give this one a break, and let's pull this one in, and we can talk about that after we eat something. Empathy, putting myself in their shoes, understanding what's in it for them at all times, and being responsible to the entire environment changes everything. I think that those behaviors and leadership are necessary. In the past, I think that we were taught that it was like a tyrant type way to lead, and I don't know that that's effective, or that it was ever effective. Leading from fear doesn't get you anywhere, and I don't want anyone in our team to not feel that they have a voice or that they can't make a mistake. And so getting in there belly to belly with them, side by side, helping them pull a dash back, helping them hold a flashlight, helping them pry something, asking questions thoroughly, making sure that they understand what they're recommending, and doing it in a way that is not arrogant or interrogating. Do it in a way that's curious. I think if we lead with curiosity across a lot of things in life, we'll have a more genuine conversation and more productive conversation. And that has helped me as a mentor, that has helped me as a leader, and that definitely has helped me lead people who use their hands and bodies for a living. Try a little undercover boss experience. Do a ride along and see what they go through every day when the parts are wrong and the customer is impatient, and see the pressure that they're under, so that when you're coaching from an inside out perspective more than an outside in, because we don't really know until we do.
You've talked a lot about educating your team, educating even people that'll just come into the industry on just what the industry is about and the career paths there. How do you educate yourself? Where are your go-to resources to continue learning?
I was a part of an organization called Entrepreneur Organization for quite a bit of time, and I still have friends that are very successful. And so having people to take an issue to, cry on their shoulder, hey, have you seen this? Have you gone through this? Having a network. I learned a lot through other people's experiences. That's it. And if I hear of a good book, I'm gonna put it in my Audible and ingest it into my psyche as soon as I can. I'm often in YouTube University. Okay. I'm often there. I listen to YouTube more than I don't listen to the radio in the car. I'm almost always learning from someone online that's shown and proved that they actually do what they say, because there's so many people online that are just all pomp, they're no substance, and so I'm always seeking that. Apex and SEMA, every single time, my son, he goes because he wants to see the cool cars, and I go for the classrooms. I start, as soon as the schedule is out, I know exactly how every single day is gonna go. I know what classes I'm going to for the morning, and I just remain immersed. This was my actual first year spending a good amount of time in the Apex section. Generally, we're over in the convention center and doing the classrooms there, but the agenda was exactly what I was looking for, as going from being a franchisee to a franchisor, and creating training content for our internal programming and training for our people. I wanted to make sure that we were grabbing the most accurate, up-to-date knowledge, and so it was really cool. I love the Joe's Garage. A few of our vendors were actually present there, so we got a chance to meet some people that we hadn't met in person and only through emails. Maybe some Teams meetings, but it was good to just shake some hands. But yeah, it was awesome. I know that we'll be there next year. We'll see you, this year. Right. We'll see you there in the fourth quarter.
It's one thing to invest in the future of your business, and another to invest in both the future of your local community and the industry as a whole. But that's what makes Ashley Butler a vehicle care rock star. Her success is grounds for putting some swagger in her step.